Thank you, Matt, for that amazing presentation. Some great ideas there to increase activity in your classroom, in your school environment. As you were sharing, I was thinking very much about this topic that I've been reading a lot on lately, which is collective care. So just thinking about, yes, you want to get started and you want to address and so do some of the things that you like, but also think about the opportunity for the collective to have an accountability partner or get a group of people together to engage in physical activity. I know some of the things that I've seen and experienced are, these great walking clubs in the morning where all the teachers are getting there a little bit early and the students come and join them. They're incentivized by, just a little tchotchke for every lap that they complete, or just, simple things like, intramurals. Today, I got an email from a school that I'm working with, and school lead there is getting a pickleball group together, and they're going to be setting up tournaments. So it's really exciting to see that folks that are digging into these healthier generation resources and some other resources that we're providing support for are really getting the ball rolling in their schools. So what you see now, folks, is the Healthier Generation website. And if you go to www.healthiergeneration.org, you will actually be on the landing page, which is here. And if you go to the Action Center, right, that's where the action is at, in the Action Center. You click on that. If you have an account already, this is where you log in. If you need to create an account, you can create your Action Center account by clicking here and filling out this information. It'll prompt you to choose a district or a school. If you are a district member, you want to make sure that you join a district. If you are a school member, you want to join a school. And so from here, I'm just going to log in so I can show you around a little bit where some of the tools and resources are. So here you can see I'm on my dashboard, right? I have multiple organizations, but yours is going to look more like this. All right, if you are a member of a school, you're going to have your school here and the Thriving Schools Integrated Assessment on your dashboard. If you are a district, it's going to look more like this, where you have your district dashboard, the district level Thriving Schools Integrated Assessment, and then you have your schools underneath. So you can keep track of what's happening in their schools. There's aggregate reports available, so you can aggregate this data and take a look at what everybody is doing to recognize trends. But for here, we'll just pop into the Thriving Schools Integrated Assessment. You can see here the 14 topics that Matt alluded to earlier. And over here, we have our cultivating staff well-being. And so some of those handles you were seeing earlier, those SWBs and so forth, are here underneath the Thriving Schools Integrated Assessments, cultivating staff well-being. Specifically, the one that we were talking about today had to do with physical activity. Obviously, physical activity is going to show up in multiple places in this assessment, but mostly we want to make sure that whatever area you decide that you want to start with, because once you get in here, this is a free assessment tool. Again, it's not a test, it's not an evaluation. It's a way for you to identify your areas of strength and opportunity. And so you can choose whichever area here you'd like to start with. I recommend starting small, but I have districts and schools that are very ambitious that want to go in and answer all of the questions. Some of the questions are repeated here in the Thriving Schools Integrated Assessment because the assessment is designed to show you where there is interdependence within some of these topics. So for example, here at the end of the staff well-being section, there's a question about social emotional health. There's a question about tobacco policy, because these things are also important to staff well-being. And if I were to click into one of these questions, the question appears here. I want to make sure that I read the question and always read the fully in place criteria for that, okay? Because there are the details are here in the fully in place answer. And so you want to make sure that this is your guideline for your goal. If this is something I decide that I want to work on this year, I can click over here and add this item to my action plan. So say we're not quite fully in place here for using our trauma-informed approach to implement policies and practices regarding staff well-being. This happens to be the HEARTS approach that is mentioned here, these 6 areas. And maybe we're doing an okay job with this, but we're not quite hitting all of these. So we want to say that this is mostly in place. And then if this is a goal I want to focus on this year, I can add it to my action plan. And the nice thing about this tool as well is that here, once this is in my action plan and we're going to work on it, I can add tasks. So I can click on this and I can say, Matt will check out resources, and then I can add that task, and I can go ahead and continue to add tasks as part of our action plan. I can also put some notes in here. So if I read a couple of resources or if I have some meetings, I can put those in here. So my team has a place to communicate all in one spot. We have access to the resources here because here on the right-hand side are all of the related resources related to this particular question. And so that makes it really convenient and easy. And again, as a district, I can look at aggregate data from my schools and I can look at the trends that are there and address those as needed. We also have an area here where we have a policy builder. So if you are a school that needs a stronger wellness policy, you can use the policy builder tool. And we also have resources and trainings available. So if I were to click on resources, I can go here and I would recommend looking under subject. You can also search by, do a word search. It's like a little internal search engine, or I can look here by subject and pick something like staff well-being and then click search. And then all of the resources that are tagged for staff well-being will come up there. So not just the ones for physical activity, but those for social emotional health, those for positive work culture, so on and so forth. So this is available for you to use for free. If you're interested in really delving into those 6-step process that Matt alluded to earlier, this is the programmatic work. You know, it can be done by one person, but if we're really talking about systems change, what this is, that always starts with building support, right? So you really should start with a small team whenever possible, or an existing team that can use these tools and resources and make some incremental changes around staff well-being and other areas of interest.